All right, I'm just here chilling, waiting for our guest. Hopefully he comes, but while he's not here yet, I'm going to go over last night's just football game. Chargers easily walked into the playoffs 40-7 over New England. They clicked on all facets of the game, and they're coming into the playoffs playing some good, decent football. But remember, Chargers haven't beaten a good team all year long. Okay, but they're in one of the strangest, bizarre endings. The Bengal field goal kicker missed the kick, which I still can't believe. But they made up for it. Burrow made sure that they're alive. And here's the scenario: Bengals win, Broncos lose. Bengals in, Broncos win next week. They're in. Flacco's playing today for the Colts, and who knows? Anything can happen as they're playing the Giants. The only good thing is 55 degrees and sunny outside, so that should help the Colts stay alive. If the Colts win out, folks, uh, there's a good chance they're going to get the seventh seed. All right, my guest is here. Morning, Platinum. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up with you, Mace?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Um, Getting ready for these bowl big playoff games.
Yeah, man, I wanted to do it a couple of days early, Mace, because after Tuesday, once the games are played, there'll be no interest in these picks. So I want to try to set it out there a little early. I mean, try to. Well, this isn't the place to talk about. I have to talk to you at another time. But anyhow, oh, did you see Dion?
I heard. Did they lose? They were down 17-0 last I saw.
Yeah, yeah, they lost 36-14.
BYU's a better team, but more than that, uh, his two stars know what they're going. They know where they're going. So to them, sadly, they let Dion down.
Well, if you want to be for real,
Yeah,
um, they the only way the reason they lost that game, they just simply underestimated BYU. I don't know why. They came out and they just weren't ready, and BYU jumped ahead. BYU left points on the board. BYU could have easily put up 45 points. First possession, they dropped a touchdown. The quarterback had three turnovers, and they still beat Colorado. Defense, they put pressure on them, and Shador was off. He was some of his plus picks over people's heads. And Travis Hunter's his mind went in the game. You could almost say that whatever's going on with this internet, they just didn't show up for that game. So, I mean, if you care, but I mean, that's over with. The Colorado season is done. So much for that. Yeah, I saw the press conference with Dion, and you know he didn't really say anything. He claimed that he's cool with the coach of BYU and all of that. So it don't matter, man. I don't even want it's not even worth talking about. But check this out,
yeah. Go ahead.
and you got Alabama, Michigan, and all that. Those games are fine. I just wanted to get in on these playoff games, man. And let's start it out with Boise and Penn State. What do you think?
Wow, I'm looking at it right now. Boise is 11.5 point underdog. I have nothing against Franklin. I really don't, but I know he doesn't get things done. The only reason why I'm picking him is because his brand is bigger and they do win 10 games a year. And this is the first real team Boise State's going to play. So I'm definitely going to take Penn State in this one. I'm going to go Penn State.
Well, it's certainly possible. And I follow you. He beat these teams. He normally blows these teams out. But on this one, I'm gonna say they'll stay within the number. And
Okay.
let me tell you why I'm suggesting that the Heisman Trophy runner-up with Shador and Cam Ward. Well, Cam did good. The guy from Miami, he just got out of the game, and Shador, he it was. Um, this guy has a chance to raise his value, raise his stock. If he comes out and has a monster game against Penn State,
Yeah.
he's going to get drafted higher. And also, a lot of people felt he should have won. So, and that's the only reason I'm going for that. I'm thinking because of him, um, he'll stay. I don't think they'll beat Penn State, but I think that he can stay within the number, which say 11 and a half. And so that's that. Those are that picks for that game.
So Platt, first choice, he's taking Boise State to cover the 11.5.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm in on the next one. Now, this one, I'm all in. I
Which one?
know I know this game is in Arizona. Okay, it's in
Mm.
Phoenix. Arizona State's gonna have their fans there, but I'm gonna take the Longhorns minus 11. I'm gonna take the Longhorns minus 12.5. I'm gonna take them on the road. It is a road game for Texas. I'm gonna take them anyway over Arizona State.
Okay, what's the line?
12.5, 13.5, either one you want.
Oh man. Um,
This is a road game for Texas. The game is in Glendale. It's a home game for Arizona State.
yeah, Mace. The running back they got at Arizona, I remember him earlier. Ooh, the second, I think last year he had a real good year, and they're better this year. Shakaboo or something like that. I think Arizona State's underrated. Now, look, I've been watching Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They're a great team.
Mm-hmm.
When they want to be, they're a monster team. Because of that line, and also because of what they did last week.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep it close. I think they'll cover.
Okay.
No, I'm saying just because of just what they did last week, they blew out a lot of the teams. They see the line maker always going to make his adjustments.
Yeah.
He's putting these big lines on Penn State and Texas, and I think it's very possible Arizona State is just simply underrated. They blew out who they blew out. Arizona State played they played somebody in the somebody to go to ah who they play Mace to make it where they are now.
Uh, BYU.
They play BYU.
Yeah. They're in the same
Hey,
conference. Yeah.
they blew them out,
Yeah.
and we see what BYU did to Colorado. And listen, Colorado got their problems with that quarterback. When you can contain Shador, you got a decent defense, man, because he's so like Sandlot, So, that's man. Oh, now I'm gonna go ahead and take that they're gonna stay within the number on this one.
Okay.
Now, let me say this. Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go ahead. Yeah. Now, no. Let me say this.
Yeah, good.
Betting against Texas. It really ain't a good thing to do. So, I mean, if you want to know what I think, I'd take
Yeah,
Arizona.
go ahead.
But the smarter thing to do is probably go somewhere else because betting against Texas ain't the smartest. You ain't you. You can make a whole lot of money betting against Alabama. But yeah, if you got to take one, I'll take Arizona. I say it's going to be a lot closer, and Texas will probably win, but I'll take Arizona. Arizona State, the Sun Devils.
Okay.
Now, you want me to
So,
go first or what? On
uh,
the you got it. I mean, which one you want? Which teams you want? And
I'm taking Texas minus 12 and a half.
gotcha,
I'll let you
gotcha,
do Ohio State first.
gotcha. Okay, Ohio State, Oregon. Ohio State lost to Oregon. Oregon's first team to possibly go 16. I think they say 16-0. No other team's ever done that. Um, I I think Ohio State is going to go in there. I think they're going to win the game. I think Ohio State, what they did last week with Tennessee is that's and really that's what I've been saying. The thing that's so what's so disappointing about Ohio State, they lost to Michigan. Ohio State, in my opinion, is the strongest team in college football. Um, they just got bad coaches. The way they played defense against Tennessee, they haven't played like that all year. They struggled with it was Ohio. It was Ohio. Their quarterback, it was ridiculous. They couldn't stop them going up and down the field. They wind up barely they won like 20 points or something like that. They're supposed to win by 43.
Yeah,
And they could not. And because of that, the scheme, they just wouldn't change their defensive scheme. And and they just would they kept letting them get 5 yards, 8 yards. That quarterback can pass. I think, yeah, no, no, no. He got hurt. They finally sacked him, and then they put the backup in, and then they start sort of going after the after like putting points on there. But yeah, they showed it when they ready to play, they can play. I think they're going to surprise Oregon. And also, the thing about all of this stuff is when things have never been done. Since nobody's ever won 16 games, yeah, that's another reason I take Ohio State. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I'm gonna go with Ohio State also
Okay.
because this game is closer to Oregon and Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. But I think Ohio State is not gonna lose to the same team twice.
Yeah. And they're talking about firing that dude, and that puts a little pressure on a coach to, hey, you got to get serious, because of the media and the fans. And you got Oregon, they played them once and they saw their mistakes. Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes. I take Ohio State.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm with you. I'll take the 2.5 Ohio State.
Yeah, that's another thing. Ohio State's favorite. They're the favorite. They're eighth, and Oregon's one, and Ohio State's the favorite. So
I'm
they're
taking
trying to
Ohio
tilt.
State also.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
take them Buckeyes. I'm gonna let you go first because you love this team and you
Mm.
love this. I love the coach and you love this team. So go ahead.
Right now, I tell you, I'm taking Notre Dame. I fought it last week, Indiana, and I said, man, Notre Dame, and I went ahead because look, I checked. I walk. I mean, you got to check around to see where people are going. The smart money and stuff, and everybody was saying Indiana, man, and I was like, huh? And I'm gonna tell you, they pulled me off the game. Right now, the word is Georgia. Right now, the word is Georgia. Call it betting with my heart. I'm taking Notre Dame. You ain't supposed to do it. And I'm gonna tell you why. A backup quarterback. I'm not gonna take a backup quarter. Even though Kirby Smart's a wonderful coach, I can't support a backup quarterback. And Notre Dame's got this momentum. Um, I'd have to take Notre Dame. But let me just offer this to anybody. You got to know what games you wager on, right?
Yeah,
This isn't a game to me to wager on. And that Arizona Texas game, I mean, just if you talk, because you got Michigan, you got a bunch of games. You only got about four more days of college football, and then you'll have the national champ. Then it's over. You can find better opportunities before Tuesday, and I mean before Wednesday. It's up to you to do it, And I didn't come up here to talk about them other teams, but they're just better opportunities. When you look at some of these games, they could go either way, and that's when you're actually gambling, and you never want to go either way.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is the Sugar Bowl. The good thing for Notre Dame is their fans and their alumni travel. I'm
Well, I
laughing
think
because in any other year, folks, in the last 8 years, I would pick Georgia. And remember one thing: the only four times they have played ever, the games were less than 3 points.
well, let me just say this. For me, I'm a guy. I look for the backup. I'll give you a good. I don't know if you kept up with the Miami College game.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
They were walking up and down the field on Iowa State. Iowa State's a decent team. They was walking up and down the field with Ward, and they took Ward out. And I was
yeah,
looking at the game, and I said, "Wait a minute!" I saw him standing on the sideline because Mace, I didn't put no real money. It was just a couple of bucks on it, right? And I
yeah.
and the word was take. The word was take Iowa State. They were saying that they believed that Miami, mine wasn't in it because they didn't make the playoffs. Um, it's in Orlando, but how much effort are they really going to put into it? And they also felt Iowa State got screwed because they were saying if Iowa State would have played against instead of SMU, I don't know who they play, Clemson. Who did SMU get beat by? Penn
Penn
State.
State, Penn State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Franklin
were saying
Roanoke.
Iowa State would have played it'd have been a better game, and that Iowa State was underrated. So and everybody was
They
on
are.
Miami, and
Iowa
everybody
State.
was it was on Miami. So I hopped on it, and Mace, I thought that I was going to lose because I saw Ward. Man, he was having a war. He's killing. And then Mace, I swear, I looked on the sideline and I said, "You got to be joking."
Yeah, he got the phone. They got the phone call. Platt, the agent, his future agent said, take him out now. He's proved enough that he's the top pick in the draft. It looks like the Giants are going to take him. And like I said, should what's the kid's name again? Hunter looks like he's going to New England, and I think that is scary for the AFC East. That he's
Well, they
going.
got okay, yeah, with that quarterback, yeah, yeah. Um, well, they pulled him out, Mace, and they
Yeah, he
stopped
got the
him
phone call.
first. The first time they stopped him, and they do a fake Miami fake the punt, and then they go down and they kick a field goal, and then they score, and then Miami, I think they went down, kicked the field goal, and then they turned around, and was able to close, and then finally they beat them. But it was all because of the quarterback. They took Ward out, and that's what I mean. Even with Georgia, even though Kirby Smart, you got to be real careful, wagering against him. I might just do it with my heart, man, because that's who I want to see win Notre Dame, and put $25 on this, try to go in there just win that a small wager.
In the last 8 years, there was no way I will pick Notre Dame over Georgia. This afternoon, my time, I am taking Notre Dame to win the Sugar Bowl and
Mm,
beat Georgia.
okay, so you're looking at what we looking at.
Trends I'm looking at. Like I said before, Georgia won every time they played, and the games was less than a field goal. I think Notre Dame, with the backup quarterback for Georgia, Notre Dame's going to play this game the way Kirby Smart would play this game, which is sick the defense at the opposing team's offense. Well, Notre Dame's going to do that. When is this game? Wednesday night. Notre Dame is going to do this, and
Mm-hmm.
folks, me and Platt, we see it, we know it. If you haven't seen Notre Dame defense the last 3 years since this young man's taken over, you're missing a hell of a lot. Definitely Notre Dame plus the point and a half to win this game outright in New Orleans in the Super Bowl. I'm going to take Notre Dame. And a very low
Mm.
scoring game, by the way. This game will
Well,
not
one
be a
one one thing, Mace, Notre Dame has a run defense, and if you're gonna put a backup quarterback in there, you're probably gonna be running a lot,
mm-hmm.
and that's gonna really move the scales in Notre Dame's favor. And hopefully, Kirby Smart, I know he's a great coach, but hopefully he underestimates the coach for Notre Dame. I mean, he's winning all his games, and Miami of Ohio
Yeah,
was Miami that beat him.
yeah.
They went on and blew out who they played yesterday. They played somebody. They beat them like 40. They beat them 43 to like 10.
I could say this for Notre Dame and give them a lot of credit because this is the one team every football fan outside of Notre Dame fans cannot stand. And when they lost to Northern Iowa, I was up here saying that he will regroup this team. And with that easy schedule, the only other game they have to worry about is Navy. Well, they blew out Navy, and this young man is a hell of a football coach. And I think, uh, like he said from the beginning, I'm a defensive coach. I care about the defense. I don't give a damn about the offense. I don't care who the quarterback is. My defense is going to dictate do we win or do we lose. A year ago, remember Platt? We
Mm-hmm.
were gung ho. They couldn't stop Ohio State on the last drive of the game. This year against Northern Iowa, I mean Northern Illinois, they couldn't stop Northern Illinois the last drive of the game. Well, they won 11 and no sense. I don't see Notre Dame losing Wednesday night in a very close game in New Orleans. I'm taking Notre Dame to cover the point and a half and win this game
Mm-hmm.
outright.
If you're spending money, if you got a couple of hundred, take Ohio State.
I
If
totally.
yeah, on this Texas Arizona, I'd take Arizona, but this is a $25 bet. The Notre Dame, Georgia's $25. May and Penn State, Boise. For me, I put money on this. I put a couple of hundred on this Boise to keep it close. But there's two of them that I wouldn't even watch. If this was a normal college football weekend, I
Yeah.
wouldn't even watch these games because there's no value for me because it could go either way. That's one of the reasons I really don't mess with the SEC. Because it just I mean, I'll mess with Alabama, but when you start saying Ole Miss, LSU, I don't even waste my time with those teams. They're too hard to pick,
Speaking of Kiffin,
huh?
speaking of Kiffin, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
17-point favorite
over who?
on Thursday against Duke.
I could go with that. Yeah, I could take that. I
I
could take
think
the
Duke is a
SEC.
little better than people think. I think that's too many points. They can score, Duke. I mean, I'm gonna take.
Ole Miss is underrated, man. Ole Miss is a good
I
team,
know how good they
and
are.
that
Trust
quarterback is. And see, you got to remember also where Ole Miss comes from. That's Oxford, Mississippi. See, that's gambling country.
me. Hmm.
So his boosters and all of that, they're gonna,
Moonshine and all.
and yeah, they're gonna try their best to cover. It's just like when Miami ran that fake punt. It's like this is a bowl game. You running fake punts, but they didn't. They went ahead and they lost the game. But you got to be real careful with a lot of these teams because they are. they're set up in a way. Well, I'd have to go look at that. I mean, because you have to look at the whole board. I haven't even looked at. I mean, today is Sunday. Got plenty of time. Now I saw your Denver Broncos lose to the Charge. I mean, lose to
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yeah, but I don't think Cincinnati can make the playoffs.
Well, if they win next week and the Broncos lose next week, they're in.
Oh, if the okay.
And two is gone, so he's out again. So I guess Miami is pissing that opportunity away. I will say this right now: if Cincinnati gets in, they're dangerous. They can go up to Buffalo and beat them in 2 weeks.
Who, Cincinnati?
Yeah, just like they beat them 2 years ago. Yeah, in Buffalo in the snow. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I would like that game a lot. I will talk a little. Let's see what the matchups are first.
I I think it's going to be KC AFC Championship,
Yeah,
KC
I think the
Buffalo,
KC
and
ball.
I
I'm gonna
mean
go KC
now
Baltimore.
now Pat Mahomes, he went almost 8 games. They didn't get a cover. He's covered. I know Cleveland. He covered Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and I might be missing a game.
Yeah, he covered. He covered Cleveland. The last two games he covered. So
Okay,
the
yeah,
Chiefs are the
and
Chiefs are
you
5-11 against the spread.
so they're finding they're catching their win, they're catching steam, and that's the Kansas City team that I like and support. This the Kansas City team the last 8 weeks where they were scraping and winning by 2 and winning by 1 point. Nah, but I mean we'll see. Now I'm pretty much Pittsburgh. I'm done with them. They're going to lose against Cincinnati. Yeah, I wish next week. I'm telling you, you want to make some easy money, just bet against Pittsburgh. And when they go into the playoffs, which I'm thinking Houston maybe, they're going to lose that game. They had
I
to go to
think that,
Houston.
I think whoever's the five beats Houston.
Whoever's what?
The five. So it could be Pittsburgh, maybe not. But the Chargers is the five. Yeah, they'll go to Houston and beat them.
Okay,
I'll
well, I'm
go
just
with
saying
them.
whoever Pittsburgh plays,
No, not
they're gonna
Pittsburgh. I'm talking about Houston.
okay, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Whoever Pittsburgh plays,
That will
whoever.
probably be Baltimore.
Well, if they play them,
I
they're gonna. If they play them, I mean, I don't know how to. I'd have to go and look and see exactly how it's gonna line up. I'm just saying what they're doing is what everybody has been saying, who's watched Pittsburgh for years. They're tanking. They started out really well. They made it up to 9 wins, 10 wins. Now they're on a lose. They're lose. They lost 3 in a row. Russell's playing like trash. He's getting sacked.
old as young as
Yeah,
age crap.
yeah. And the Pickens guy is losing his mind because he's wide open, and Russell some kind of way can't see him, or he's running the opposite way. And I don't think with the way Cincinnati played against Denver, I think Cincinnati can beat Pittsburgh the way
I
they're
do
playing.
too.
Also, Pittsburgh might rest a lot of people too, because I don't think the game really matters. So, that being said, going into the playoffs, that's what everybody was saying, which is what they've done for years, and they get knocked out in the first round. So that goes back to what I was saying. I think you can't tell every team, but you could pretty much make a guess what's going to happen. Now, did you want to go over these NFL games?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
No problem with me, man. Anything you
Okay.
want, I'll
Well,
break it down with you. I like breaking down games. You know that.
let's go with Jets versus Buffalo.
This is one of my locks.
Okay.
I am definitely taking the Jets plus 10.5.
Mm.
They are playing so much better. No one realizes it because they're this bad.
Okay.
But Rogers and what's our boy Devontae Adams have
Mhm.
really rekindling their business
Okay.
relationship. I'm gonna take Jets. Believe it or not, much more talented than the Bills. It's like they quit once they fired the coach. The defense quit, but they're getting their mojo back going
Okay.
to next season. I'm gonna take the Jets plus 10.5.
I would agree. But Mace, when I look at this game, I draw a blank. Um, not, it's not a game I would touch. Not a game I would touch. I think Buffalo's got, and it's a division game too. So the smart thing would to do would be to take the points because this is a divisional team. So
56 degrees in Buffalo today. The entire northeast part of the United States. It's a nice day everywhere, so I'm going to take the Jets
got you.
in nice weather. It was one of my picks from the
I'd
beginning.
agree. I'd agree with Mace. So
It was jumping right at me when I saw the 10.5.
now the Dallas plus the 7.5 at Philly. Philly backup quarterback, the guy who used to play for Pittsburgh, who
Kenny
got
Pickett.
yeah,
Kenny
who
Pickett.
got benched for Mason Rudolph. He demanded a trade. He's now in Philly. He was from Pitt. Um, mm,
Right? I already got this one on lockdown.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This game I gave to Sean to bet the whole thing, including the money line. I'm taking Dallas. He's a smart young man. He listened to his uncle up here. I took it in the beginning of the week. I took Dallas plus the 9.5, plus the over 41.5. I mean minus 41.5. I'm picking Dallas to win this game outright.
Mm,
As soon as they said he was hurt with
mhm.
concussion, I said jump all over Dallas. 9.5, over 41.5 to win outright. I gave that to
Gotcha.
Sean.
Got you, Mace.
And Dallas's quarterback, Cooper Rush,
Hmm.
playing so much better the last few weeks. It's like Dallas has been winning games. So
Okay, and I'm with you on that, Mace. I mean, that's your pick. On me, I'm with you. I support it. But am I? What I'm saying is, which way would I go? Well, I don't like backup quarterbacks.
exactly. I ain't touching Kenny
Yeah, I
Pickett.
don't disagree. I don't disagree. With that good pick, Mace. Carolina, Tampa Bay.
The young man is playing so much better at quarterback. Let me take a look at this one. The young man, where he is. I'm taking the game is in Tampa. Tampa needs it more. Tampa is healthier now. I'm gonna take Baker minus the 10 in the 10 points. I'm gonna
Okay.
take Baker. Take Tampa Bay minus 10.
Yeah. If they're serious about making it in the playoffs, they're going to have to beat some teams, and simple as that. So I agree with you.
Yeah,
You
I
got to
think
rock
Baker
with
got this
Tampa.
done. Yeah, I had the Cowboys 9.5 on last Sunday night down to 7.5. Still taking Dallas.
Gotcha.
Oh,
What about this? Some of these games, Mace, and we just like I'm not going to.
yeah, I know. I'm looking at it right now.
Indy, New York. I mean, I don't know what quarterback they're down
They're
to.
going to the Indies playing Flacco today.
What? Who about the Jets? Is Vito back?
Who's back for the Jets?
Was Tommy Vito?
Oh, DeVito? No, they're
Uh,
going with Drew Lock, the Giants. I'm definitely taking.
Drew Lock. Okay.
I'm leaving it alone, but Giants have been covering. I'll take Giants to cover, but Colts to win. I'll do it like that.
Okay.
I'll do it
You
like
on the
that. Too many
Giants?
points.
Okay.
Too many points. And
I got
Flacco
you.
is in there. All
Tennessee
right, this
Jacks. Tennessee
Tennessee
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Let me see. This had it too. Oh, there it is. I'm taking the Jags to. I mean, excuse me. I'm taking the Titans to win. They play hard, and this is
Hmm.
going to shock you. I'm about to tell you. They have the number one defense in the NFL. That's the Titans. Their problem has
Okay.
been inconsistency at quarterback. Other than that, this is a good football team. That they're gonna have a decision to make draft night because he's gonna be falling down to them. Do they take Shador Sanders?
Do they take who?
Shador Sanders.
They're not. You talking about Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, Tennessee won't. They're not gonna take Shador Sanders.
So they're gonna ride and die another year of
They're not. Tennessee's
wilderness.
not a good place for him and Dion. They wouldn't. This is Nashville country music world. They wouldn't like. So I mean, hey, that's I don't. I can look at their. I knew how they do their roster, but Atlanta, Washington, Mace.
Skip the whole call. All right, let me
We
go
got
over here.
we got the
Go.
dreaded over 70%. That's a warning that you never want to be on. That's the public, and you never want to be on a team when the public is 70% plus on them. And on top of that, that line is too low, Mace. Three and a
I'm
half.
gonna I'm gonna take Penix on prime time television to outdo uh, young boy from Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Everybody
the
saw.
main reason. No, go ahead.
No, they saw Washington defeat the Eagles, and they're not giving Atlanta the respect they deserve. But now, I'm not saying Washington wouldn't win, and I really would want more points. You gotta give me at least about 7 points, but they're giving me 3.5, which tells me they want me on Washington. See, I can when you see these lines like that and they don't make sense, they're trying to get you to think, okay, well, Washington -3. Oh, hell yeah, I'll take that in a minute. Oh, I wouldn't take that. I mean, I'd have to think about it. And that's the late game. Yeah, it's just I
That's
gotta think
Sunday.
about it.
That's the night. Yeah, that's the
I gotta
night
see
game.
how the games play out. Uh,
Yeah.
you got to be careful with that because you're walking into a situation where they're talking about one score and Atlanta and Penix and what he did with Washington. Washington's trash. He made that team. They beat Oregon twice. I don't know, man. I take Penix.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
take Penix. This is his coming out party. Atlanta, to me, is clearly the better team. Defense, they don't compare. That's all Atlanta. Offensively, you can say is similar. The running games are similar. I'll take McLaren over Drake London, but it's just something about Atlanta. Atlanta wins tonight, they win the division, by the way. So I think Atlanta is going to play. Washington is in. I'm going to take Atlanta to beat uh, Washington tonight. I'm going to do that game. I'll be up here for that game tonight. I'm going to do that one. All these 1 o'clock games are horrible. So after me and you finish, I'm out for a few hours. I'm going to get ready for Green Bay and Minnesota at 3:30 your time. That's the game of the week. The only game is at 4:25, by the way. So,
Okay. Now you got the Frisco, Detroit, Monday night, 3.5. That's another game. Ooh, 80%. Ooh, 80% of the public is on San Francisco. I mean, is on the Lions. And the problem with that, man, like I said, a lot of this stuff you learn on some of these gambling circles is the public's mostly right. I mean, mostly wrong. You know it. I know it. I've been to public, and I lost all my money. You can't
hmm
go with the way they go. If all of them, if 8 out of 10 bettors are picking Detroit, eight, you got to go with San Francisco. You just have. Does that mean it's going to work every time? Nope. But the odds are you want to be on the house side most of the time, and that's the house is on Frisco.
I'm going to go with San Francisco for one reason.
Hmm.
This is their last home game of the year. Those fans have been faithful to them. They can chalk this off as an off year. I think San Francisco, Detroit is decimated on their front line. And like I said, when Hutchinson got hurt, I
Hmm.
said that injury is going to come back to haunt Detroit. Detroit loses tomorrow night, folks. They're going to have Minnesota next Sunday night. And that game is going to be for everything. And if Detroit loses this game, folks, you know how much pressure is going to be on the Lions next Sunday night to get home field? I'm going to tell you right now. If they lose that division, it's the 5 seed, they're not going to survive Tampa Bay. They can beat Atlanta, but Tampa Bay already beat them in their building. They're gonna go to Tampa this time with no pass rush. I'm gonna go San Francisco totally upset. I'm gonna take the plus 3.5.
Miami, Cleveland, Mace.
Two is out. Cleveland's defense is healthy. 60 degrees in Cleveland today. I'm gonna go. I don't. If Tua was playing, I would definitely take the Dolphins. The Dolphins opened up at 6.5 all week, until Tua announced he's not playing. So they shut Tua down. It's now 3. I'm gonna take Cleveland plus the 3.
All right, Green Bay,
Here we
Minnesota.
go. So no one I gave Sean. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Green Bay across the board. I'm gonna take them to win the game. It's only a 1 point spread, and to cover the over 48.5. I think this game is a shootout like the last one, but this time Love is healthy. I'm gonna definitely take Green Bay to win this game outright, cover the spread at 1, and uh, over 48.5.
There you go. I wouldn't disagree with you. Green Bay, take Green Bay over Minnesota. Um, Cleveland, you know what? You're right. I mean, now Miami, Cleveland, not a game I would play, but we've seen them when they're at home. Winston going against the backup quarterback, he manages to win sometimes. So this seems like one of those classic games. New York, Indy, Flacco, New York down at what third quarterback.
Yeah, well, I
You,
said
but
I'm gonna take
yeah,
the Giants to cover, but
yeah, you're gonna take those points. I got you.
yeah,
And then Tennessee over Jacksonville. Jacksonville's
yeah,
most of their team is hurt. Tennessee, I'm trying to see, and it's a low line. About, I mean, most like half, well, half of the people are on it, so it's not overplayed by one side. These are last 2 weeks of the regular season.
yep,
You probably got to know how people are going to play, who's going to get benched, who's not playing because they're going to trade them. And do they care? Philly's already clinched the division, right?
yeah. They win today to win the division.
Okay, and who do they play after? Who they play next week?
The Giants.
Yeah, they're not worried about it, so they're probably don't even care. I mean, they're going to put a little effort in there, but nothing that's noteworthy. And
Pickett's not gonna do it against the Cowboy defense.
well, they beat Tampa. Tampa's a playoff team, so you do have to take a look at that.
Yeah,
But yeah, Mace, the SEC has been doing good. SEC's doing good on these.
bowling
Oh,
games.
yeah, yeah. Vanderbilt blew them out,
Wow. Well, they got that quarterback.
huh?
They have that quarterback who will be in that 2027 draft, which is going to be one of the great quarterback drafts in a long, long time. Like there's 10 of them. They're all freshmen right now. They just finished their freshman seasons.
go. Hold up. I was how did the guy do as he lost all the money, Mace?
Which guy? Sean?
Whatever your friend was, yeah.
Uh, I don't think he did because I haven't given him no picks lately. But I did give him those football picks. Dallas across the board, Green Bay across the board on Monday. So
Mm.
the Raiders are favorite today. We didn't touch that game.
Okay. You can go with the Raiders. No, you don't really
No,
have
no,
to.
no.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Saints. I think. Jesus. Yeah, the Raiders are favorite today. Yeah, I'll go with the Raiders. They already effed up the number one pick.
You can't
I
really
agree.
go with the Raiders because a lot of these teams really are putting in backup quarterbacks because they want to get improve their draft status. They're putting in backup players because they want to put them out there and say, hey, do we want to sign this guy to a long contract? So you can't really go with that. But I wish you would have put those tags in the information thing, Mace. Them tags, what's that? College football, the betting, and all of that, to sort of get this
No,
screen,
no,
the
I did put
stream.
them in. I did put them in.
You put it
You'll
on the
see it.
stream. You put
Yeah,
it
I
in.
did. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you'll see it.
It
There you
should get
go.
some momentum, but it's going to sit around, and we got to figure this out because we're doing these picks, and I know a bunch of sites. I see a bunch of people. You can just go on the internet and I mean on YouTube. There's 1,000 people do wagering. They don't have no real great numbers, but they're it's out there. It's in the algorithm, so it goes to the college fans and the people who care about wagering. And it's a new thing now because it's legal. And I saw something on the news. I think you could just like go like a lottery ticket now. I haven't tried it, but you can
It
just
is.
go to your huh.
It is. You're right.
So you can just go up to the grocery store and just put it in and make like a lottery ticket.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know. I hadn't.
It's like the old days back in the 80s and 90s when you used to get the ticket from the bookie, fill it out, give it back to him, go to the barber shop on Monday morning, get your money, or at the magazine stand.
Well, no,
So,
I did mine like that, Mace. Won a nice piece of money, and I wagered at the barber shop, and the guy was like, he thought I was a sucker, right? He thought I was gonna, he didn't. Well, first of all, he didn't know, and he assumed I didn't understand wagering. So he had a little sheet, and he said, "You want to get you some of this?" I said, "Let me see the sheet." His lines were off. He had made up lines, and I looked down. I said, "So you don't go by Vegas?" He said, "Nah, man, we just make our own lines up." I said, "Okay." So I had looked around at the Vegas lines, and a couple of them lines, he was trying to shade them, and I said, "Okay, I'll take this game and this game, and here go the money." And he's like, "Okay, okay," and I gave him the money, and next week I came back, I had one, and then the guy said, "Well, you got to go to this address to get the money," and I went there, and there was two dudes outside, and then I had to walk down the hall. There was two dudes in there, and turn the corner. I had to walk in the back. There was a guy in the back, and I finally get back there, and it's three guys, and the guy says, I had to show him the sheet, and he said, "Okay, yeah, you won." He said, but he said, "Okay." He said, "Which team you gonna bet on this week?" I said, "Huh?" He said, "Who you want to bet?" And I said, "Well, want to just get my winnings. He said, "No, we don't do that, man. You just can't come here and make some money and leave. What we're gonna do is let you. You're gonna bet again, right?" So I picked another team. Fortunately for me, it won. I went back, had to go through all that. Dude sat down. He didn't want to pay me. He finally paid me. It wasn't much. It wasn't much. So I got out of there and I never came back.
Mm,
Mm. So
fascinating.
it needs to be like the way it is. If you can go to the grocery store, if you can go, to a certain place, it's better because when you start talking about the bookies and stuff, it's always been corrupt, and a lot of times you don't get paid. No, you a lot of times you don't. Yeah, they'll just want you. They want you to wager because they know that more than likely you're going to lose.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
But it's shaping up, man. We going into another year, and
Can't believe it's 2025. Where did the time go?
yeah, you're right. It went pretty quick, man.
Yeah, man.
So you finna do your show?
No, no, I'll be back at 4:15 to do the whole night, doing Green Bay, Minnesota, then Washington and Atlanta. So I'll be back in 3 hours.
I got you, Mace.
You going on
Well,
the air today?
yeah, I might do something after this, maybe an hour or two. I got to go look at. Maybe yeah, I'll probably do something today, but
Great shows you've had this week, bro. Been on fire. I'm
well,
serious. I'll be in the room. I just, I
I
listen to
mean,
it.
I agree, but you know how
Oh,
that
I
goes.
gotta talk to you about one thing. I've been dying to say this to you. So I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, last Sunday morning, and I see Star P beating his chest about how many women come to him. Well, this is what I would say to Star P. Okay, I'm not dogging him. He would laugh about this if he heard me say this. Do you know how tall that man is?
No, I don't.
He is 6'6".
Okay.
He had a chance to make the NBA, but he tore up his knee so bad that back in those days they didn't have the medical stuff they have today. So when he was pumping his chest, I was laughing my ass off because he told us this story up here a few years ago when I started. When these women talk about they like tall men, I can tell you right now they really do. These
Okay.
sisters really do. So when he was talking about himself so much, I said, man, I said, you keep patting yourself on the back. I know it's true. He's good people too, man. Man, you did a great job with that. And if he did make it seem like you have a problem getting women, he's crazy.
Well, he didn't say that to me, but and it wouldn't matter if he did, but no, he didn't. I never got that impression. But um, he called up and we just noticed where he was. It's not. It doesn't matter because I mean that's him.
No, I'm just having a little fun, Platt.
Yeah, we had yeah, that time he called up and then he's been off topic though lately, but it don't matter. A lot of times people ain't really trying to talk about picking up women in game. They talk about, topic we're talking about, and he's been off topic, but he don't get. So and then you gotta understand people gotta want to hear the stuff that you're talking about.
That is true.
hmm
You're
And that's
right
why
about that.
that's one of the things about coming over here to do the sports. You have a actual sports platform. I talk about it, but not really. I don't really talk about it over there. I've done a stream or two, but I don't really talk about it over there. And I don't, and I have other stuff to talk about anyhow. And yeah, so and I don't, a lot of times people don't want to hear what people don't want to hear certain things. A lot of people, Well, there ain't really nothing to say, man. But hey, it's over for it's over for Dion. You got the draft and you got the combine and whoever gets Shadua Sanders though, man, they're gonna have to re-educate him, brother. Because he's never had a coach, Mace. He's never had a coach. What's up with
No,
you,
I agree with that.
Jada?
What's up,
No,
Dad?
no, he's never had a coach, so therefore, say he goes to the Giants, right?
Yeah, without doubt, for
He's
sure.
gonna be raw. He's gonna be a raw quarterback. He's not used to playing disciplined football. His father's been his coach. His father necessarily ain't disciplined him. And I'm telling you, man, I watched too much of this stuff. I'm talking about my whole life. I played football. I'm a fan of it. You can't you cannot be throwing in coverages, man. You might be able to get away with it, but a coach is gonna tell you don't do it because he don't want to get fired. You might be able to get it. You throw in the if you're talking about to win the Super Bowl or something like that, you throw in the coverage. But you're talking about second game of the year, you throwing in the triple coverage. The coach is gonna say, don't do that. Don't throw in the triple coverage. It's more, it's too easy to turn the ball over. And I stand that Shadua Sanders, in my opinion, is the second coming of Peyton Manning. Because that's who he reminds me of. He plays just like him, an undisciplined sandlot type of football. And the Giants, that's Eli Manning, but he plays like Peyton. And what's going to happen with him is Peyton. Peyton was more valuable than the coach, and the fans like Peyton. But well, I could be wrong. I don't think Shadua Sanders is going to be. It's not going to work out because of the interceptions, and he's going. I can just look at him and tell it's just not going to work out.
Okay.
He won't get the same grace of a Peyton Manning because the fans are not going to accept that from him. He's got to be a little bit more disciplined with the football.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'll tell you something else with him that people don't realize. He gets in college. He took so many hits when he was at Colorado. That's not good.
He did what?
That's not good.
What did he do?
What when you're a young college quarterback and you're getting beat up all the time, that's not good.
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
being real about it. He
Well,
has taken a lot of hits.
he going to New York. He ain't gonna be around much longer.
Well, the
He,
Giants' offensive line is better. The
and
problem with the Giants is his quarterback, and when they finally got a wide receiver, the quarterback was a bum. That's why he's no longer in the league.
I don't see how. I don't see how the line is good with the DeVito guy, and the DeVito guy goes in there and gets a concussion. And like I said, Shador, he's got a sandlot play type of play. I don't see. I think that somebody needs to trade for him, but it's coming. People will see. People will see. You know, when you talk about wagering money, Mace, I look for opportunities like that. An undisciplined quarterback, a guy who's throwing like he's outside playing football, because you can make a lot of money off it. When you start talking about professional ball, you can't really
Yeah.
play like that. You can't jam. So the people are covered. You really can't. If they covered, man, you got to be very accurate because those are professionals, man, and they can pick that ball off. They'll catch you if Penix today starts jamming the football because he thinks the guy's open, he gonna throw it hard. He might get away with it for a couple of 4 or 5 passes. After that, they're gonna fill him out. And they're gonna start jumping his routes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I saw Bo Nix. I saw Bo Nix throw that pass. I mean, he didn't have no time. He had to throw it to somebody. But you see, and the guy caught it. But you don't throw in the coverage.
Yeah, I agree. I
But yeah,
agree.
man, we wanted to put this out, man, and maybe next year, Mace. God willing, we're around. We'll do a whole season. But for me, Mace, like I said, this is not office picks. I'm not somebody pass around an office sheet and say $3. If you win, you win, $600, and you just pick off picks. Nah, nah, I'm very serious about it. And I don't, you have to be a serious person when you do it. The Eagles just got a pick six.
So they're up 7-0 Eagles.
What's his name? That's Sauce Gardner. Is
Yeah,
that his name? Is that
yeah,
his name?
yeah.
It's Sauce Gardner. Now you said that's what Travis gonna go there, right? To the Jets. I mean, no, that's right. He going. I'm up for.
Travis, I see him going to New England at 2. Cam Ward's gonna go 1 to the Giants.
They're going to keep that coach in New England.
Yeah, because they play hard.
What
Yesterday,
about the Oakland coach? They're gonna fire the Oakland guy.
that's the word on the street.
Well, all right, Mace. I'm gonna let you go, man. I know I held you here a little bit longer.
No, no, it's okay.
It done tipped off,
Yeah,
and now
they're on
remember,
tipped off already. Yeah,
yeah, this isn't
15, man.
this isn't Sauce Gardner, right?
No, Sauce Gardner's with the Jets.
Okay, this is just some Gardner guy for the Eagles.
Yeah,
But all right, though, Mace.
yeah.
Now
You be
I'm
good,
looking over
man.
at this thing, and we'll get back. We'll do it, and we're gonna have some winners. What's the thing we going with? Both of us going with Ohio State. We're
Yes,
split on Arizona State,
Arizona State
Texas.
and we're going with Notre Dame, both of us,
Yeah, both of us got Notre. And
and we're going with Penn State too. But you picking Boise to cover. I'm picking Penn State to win outright.
got you.
There you go. I'm gonna put it up there too.
All right, Mace.
You be good, man. Enjoy your week, and I'll be in your
Okay.
room in a little bit.
Okay. Hold
Good
up. Let me
talking to you.
get out of here. Okay.
Appreciate you. Have a great day. All right, folks. I'm out of here. I'll be back at 4:05, and we're going to go over some of these other games. Uh, these early dread games. Referees already fixing things for the Bills, which is, they tried to get Buffalo to the playoffs. I mean, to the Super Bowl. I think Lamar Jackson has a lot to say with that about that. These games are lousy. These early games. That's why I'm not going to waste my time being on. I'll be back in exactly 3 hours from now, and we'll get ready for the big ones. Green Bay at Minnesota, Atlanta at Washington. Atlanta wins tonight. They win the division. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. Good day, everybody. For Platt and Dat Boy, thank you for coming, everybody. People in the clouds, see you later.